What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we are going to be starting a new series called Versus. Let's get it started. Alright, now these are going to be probably shorter videos, but we're going to be comparing two players that are currently on the Lions roster and picking which one we are taking for our team. Now, there are roster cuts coming up because we have like 90 players on the roster. We don't know who's going to get cut, but I decided to start off with Bo Scarbrough and Ty Johnson. Now, somebody asked me on Twitter, okay? Because you guys can go send me some questions right now on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and I'll give you guys some answers on YouTube here later. Someone asked me how much caffeine I drink. I drink none, I don't think. Okay, unless this bottle has caffeine in it, I think I'm good to go. So let me just point that out. Now, let's talk about Bo Scarbrough and Ty Johnson. So why am I picking these two first? Well, the Detroit Lions have a deep running back group right now. And last season, in their final 53-man roster cuts, they were down to 4 running backs. So assuming they do that again, which they may not, right? They may keep more, they may keep less. Assuming they do that again, we're going to have to make some cuts. So when you look at the Lions running back group right now, it's Kerryon Johnson, DeAndre Swift, Jason Huntley, Ty Johnson, Bo Scarbrough, Wes Hills, and Nick Bawden. Now, Nick Bawden's your fullback, so I think he's good, but I don't think Wes Hills makes the team. But then DeAndre Swift, he's going to make the team, right? He was their second-round pick. Jason Huntley, to me, makes the team. He was a 5th-round pick this season, so he makes the team. We haven't even seen him yet. Obviously, Kerryon, I think he makes the team as well. So now you're down to Ty Johnson and Bo Scarbrough. Now, there are variables where maybe they both make the team. Maybe neither of them make the team. I don't know. There's definitely a lot of things that could happen. So for the sake of this, we're going to be picking one. There's a chance that both of them make the team or neither of them make the team. So we're just going to be picking one, all right? We're going to keep it simple. It's not super serious. It's just something to compare them to. And the thing is, these two guys are hard to compare because they are different. They play different styles completely, and their numbers are pretty dang similar in the NFL. And we haven't seen them a lot, so it's really hard to compare these players, but we're going to try our best. And you guys comment below which one you are taking and why. Let's start it off with Ty Johnson, the 5'10", 210-pound running back out of Maryland. Okay, now this is a guy that Bob Quinn drafted in the 6th round. I'm going to emphasize that because that is a huge factor to me because he selected this player, right? He wanted this player. He liked him in college. He took him. It wasn't someone that, he brought up or he signed or someone that was kind of just out there that he had to bring in because of depth. This was a guy that he wanted to go get, and he used a draft pick on him. Not undrafted, he used the actual draft pick on him. So to me, that's a little bit of a factor there. So I'm going to definitely take that in consideration. He was a 3-star prospect coming out of high school, and his only FBS scholarship offer was Maryland. So he decided to go to Maryland, and he balled out. Now, this is a player that kind of could do two things. He was known for two things at Maryland: running the football very fast and kick returns. Those were his two calling cards at Maryland, and that's what we thought we were getting when we drafted him. And let's talk about it. In 2015 was his first year where he played in 9 games. He had 33 attempts, 250 yards, and 3 touchdowns, which is still 7 yards per carry. That's still incredible. However, in 2016, he just balled out, and I think this is where he got known. 2016, he played in 13 games. He had 110 attempts, over 1,000 rushing yards. Now, if you do that math quickly in your head, 1,000 yards, 100 attempts, that's 10 yards a carry. He averaged 9.1 yards per carry in his sophomore year. To me, that's just incredible. Like, what? That's almost a first round every time he's getting the ball. I get his college, but he's still in the Big Ten, and he's still averaging basically a first round every time he touches the football. Then in 2017, he played in 12 games with 137 attempts, 875 yards, and 5 touchdowns, still 6.5 yards per carry. Still very solid. And then finally in 2018, where he played in 9 games, he had 66 attempts, 506 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So those are Ty Johnson's college stats. Now, one thing you will see with both these running backs and a lot of running backs now in college, they split times, they split carries. They don't have the whole load on one player. That's just not how teams do it. DeAndre Swift split carries, and he was our first running back taken, right? He may have been the best running back in the draft, and he split carries because he's at a good school. Bo Scarbrough split carries, Ty Johnson splits carries. It's just how teams do it in college now, so that's just something that I wanted to point out. But Ty Johnson, like I said, was drafted by Bob Quinn. And in 2019, where he played in 16 games, he had 63 attempts for 273 yards and 24 receptions, averaging 4.3 yards per carry. To me, that's pretty darn good. I mean, a lot of people bash on their O-line. I've told you guys it's not that bad. And 4.3 yards per carry, you're telling me he gets it 3 times, he's getting a first down. Nearly every 2 carries, he's getting a first down. So to me, that's pretty solid. I will take that. Now let's hop over to Bo Scarbrough, who was a guy that was also on our team last season. This guy was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to Alabama. He played with the best. He split carries with some of the best running backs in the NFL. Now some of the really good players: Damian Williams, Derrick Henry, Najee Harris, who's still waiting to come in. But man, this dude's going to be a beast. I had a lot of high hopes for Najee Harris. So those are some of the guys that he split carries, right? That's okay. Those are really talented running backs, but he was in that rotation with those players. So going to 2015, in that spring, right, the spring of his redshirt freshman season, he tore his ACL, so he missed some games. But in 2015, his first chance on the field, right, the first time he can make an impression. Well, in 2015, he played in 4 games where he had 18 attempts for over 100 yards, which was 5.8 yards per carry and a touchdown. Nothing crazy, but not a lot of attempts. However, in 2016, he started to get it rolling just like Ty Johnson did. 2016, 125 attempts, over 800 yards, and 11 touchdowns. That's pretty darn good if you ask me. And in 2017, where he played in 14 games, 124 attempts, over 500 yards, and 8 touchdowns, 4.8 average. Again, so still pretty solid. Now, not the same averages that a guy like Ty Johnson's putting out, but he's also playing at Alabama. So he's playing SEC teams. So it's really up to you on how you would put that, right? Big Ten or SEC. I think they're still both great conferences. This guy is 6'1", 228, coming out of college. He decided to come out of college. He decided to go into his draft before, going into his senior year. He was selected by the Cowboys in the 7th round. He was bounced around. He ended up with Detroit Lions last season, and that was his 4th team, actually. He ended up with the Lions practice squad, and he was called up November 16, 2019 to the active roster. And I was excited because we had so many injuries at the running back position. I'm like, hey, let's just see what he can do. And he played pretty good. I would say he played pretty good for the Lions. At 89 attempts, he had 377 yards, a touchdown, and a 4.2 yards per carry. So, they're so similar statistically, man. 4.3, 4.2. You could see that Bo Scarbrough had way more attempts, 20-plus more attempts, but they play differently also. When you watch the two, they have different styles. Ty Johnson's a kick returner. He's fast. At his unofficial 40 time, because he wasn't invited to the combine, he had a pro day with Maryland. He was clocked out as a 4.26. A lot of people said 4.3, between 4.3 and 4.4. So he was extremely fast, but he's also got some size at 210. So he's not like a little guy, kind of like Jason Huntley, who doesn't weigh 200 pounds. And then Bo Scarbrough is more of a power back, right? He's over 6 foot. He's a power back. He runs hard. He runs right at the middle. A lot of dive plays close to the goal line, stuff like that. And those two different styles and also similar stats, it makes it so hard because both of these guys are from good conferences. Both of these guys were with the Lions and had opportunities, right? And both of them played very similar when it comes statistically. And then when you look at the players, they just play differently, so it's hard to compare which one is better because they play different styles. So now it comes down to what the Lions want. What do the Lions currently have? Well, let's look at what the Lions currently have. They currently have DeAndre Swift, who they drafted in the 2nd round. This guy, to me, is more of a receiving back and running back. He's kind of does it all. He'll be the split with Kerryon Johnson, so let's just take them two out of the picture. But then you got to look at the other guy we drafted, and this guy makes it really confusing because we selected a guy named Jason Huntley. They did this just to confuse us, y'all. I'm just going to be real here. Jason Huntley, the running back out of New Mexico State. Now, he's interesting because he could be like the next Dio. This guy can play slot. This guy can play running back. This guy can play returner. He is extremely fast. So what the heck are the Lions going to do? Now, personally, if I was asked, I would be like, okay, I think logically, if I had to guess, I would think they would keep Bo Scarbrough because he gives me a little bit of a different vibe than Kerryon Swift does, than Justin does. So I would probably go with Bo just because he gives me more of that power type of back. But at the same time, Ty Johnson's no little guy either. He's 210 pounds. You've seen his Instagram videos. This dude's working. So I really don't know. So comment below who you think makes the roster. If both, that's fine. You can comment that as well. But pick one, right? Who are you taking? Who's better? Who you want? Who you got? This is tough. Thank you for watching.